guys, Dan here from Your Guitar Academy, and welcome to this first lesson in our Blues Lick Challenge. And I want to really provide you with some practical, awesome licks that you can go away and use in all of your improvisation. Now, I'm assuming you've been working through some of my blues lessons with me, and you'll notice all the way through those lessons, I'm really trying to ram home this idea of the major and the minor crossover in blues. And you might have studied some of the solos and all of these ideas. Now, in this little challenge course, what I want to do is just focus in on one really cool lick per position on the fretboard. So essentially, when we cross over the major and minor, we can do it in one key in all of these different places on the fretboard. And I'm going to give you one lick, one piece of inspiration that you can then use in your improvising, in your soloing, in your creation of great blues music, in any key over any blues track. Okay, so it really is a bit of an exploration of what we can just do with one cool lick in each area. And hopefully it'll just open up the gates for you. So it's like, oh, okay, I can see where Dan's coming from here. Maybe there's more that I can explore with this, and we can go from there. So really it's all about taking one in each area, exploring that. We're going to be playing it specifically over 3 different backing tracks in different keys so that you really establish how to do this. And then alongside the How to Learn Licks course, which I filmed before, this is the perfect accompaniment to actually getting this whole thing together. So in this first lesson, we're going to be tackling the first position, the kind of core position, if you like, which is based around the kind of E shape in the key of A, and then we're going to move it all around the keys. So without further ado, please pick up your guitar and let's get started. So just quickly letting you know that this is the first lesson in this awesome challenge course. And if you do want to upgrade and watch the whole course complete with the write-ups, the interactive tab, our community progress tracking, all the other wonderful stuff, then you can sign up to a Guitar Club today, 14-day free trial, and all the links are below. Okay, so let's get down to the first lick. And I'm just gonna do it a cappella here, okay? It sounds like this. 1. All right. So let's just do that with a drum beat as well, so you can hear a little bit more the kind of where this sits within the beat. Okay, and I've got my standard drum beat up here, and I'm just going to put it at 75 BPM, so a little slower than the original. So it'll be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Again, so 1. And again, 1. One more time, and 1. All right, good. So, first thing we're going to do, and the first thing in every single lesson we're going to do, is just learn the lick. Okay, remember, via the YJ Club, you've got the sound slides, the interactive tab. You can really learn it super thoroughly, but I'm going to take you through it here. It's so important that every time we learn a lick, that we learn it really thoroughly. Okay, so we not only understand where to put our fingers, but we understand the theory behind it, where we're using our minor pentatonic, where we're using our major pentatonic, and kind of what we're trying to get out of this lick. What is this lick? What's the purpose of this? What's the sound? What's the vibe? How can I therefore put it into my other bits of playing? So let's just start with the core essentials. This is in the key of A, blues. Okay, so it really is being played over an A dominant chord, but as with all of these licks, you can play this anywhere within your 12 bar. So if you're on the 1, on the 4, on the 5, we're not really getting into the idea of changing licks per chord at the moment. This is very much just like, here's a really cool idea you can use anywhere you like in your 12 bar. It obviously sits very naturally, this one, over the 1 chord. Okay, because of bits like this, where I'm really just, playing around an A dominant 7th part here, okay? So it kind of fits really neatly into that, and I'll talk you through that as we get there. But of course, the key kind of cage concept that we need to get here is that underneath this dominant chord, we've got not only the minor pentatonic box 1, okay, but we've got the major pentatonic box 2. So this is just reinforcing the content that we did in Blues Essentials Level 1. So if you're really not sure about that or don't understand that, I would highly recommend checking that out, Blues Essentials Level 1. We're just kind of going into it in a little bit more detail here. But essentially, because of the dominant 7th chord, we've not only got access to a major 3rd, but we've also got access to a flat 7. So in this chord, we've got a root, a 5th, a flat 7, and a major 3rd. You can hear if I play the major 3rd with the root, sounds very majory, very nice. If I play the root with the flat 7, you hear that kind of slightly more minor kind of element to it, okay? So that minor element, that flat 7, that invites the minor pentatonic. And the major 3rd, that invites the major pentatonic. Okay? So that's the kind of short and sweet version of why we can use this crossover. Remember, please do tackle that Blues Essentials Level 1 first before doing this. Okay, so with that understood, so we're using those two shapes, and this lick is about crossing them over in a very bluesy way, okay? So rather than just doing a little bit of minor, a little bit of major, back and forth, we cross the shapes over. So have a look at this. So the first part of this lick, okay? In fact, hang on, let me just make sure I've got the lick up in front of me. I want to make sure I give you the exact right notes. So, yeah, good, okay. So here, we're just starting with the first finger barred against the 5th fret of the B and the E string. But actually, my little finger's going to come right across here, and I'm going to just play the B string on the 8th fret, but leave the 5th fret nice and clear on the E string. So I get that sound, okay? Then I'm going to move down from my 8th fret to my 7th fret, then the 5th, and then I'm going to hit the 7th fret with this bar still on it on the G string. So we get. Sounds like Stevie Wonder there, doesn't it? We're not getting into that. Needless to say, you know, I'm using these licks. I've stolen them from various places. This to me is a bit of a Chuck Berry style. Clapton's used it, Buddy Guy, so many players. It's just a common blues crossover lick, and I love it, to be fair. So what's happening theoretically here? Okay, so in that first bit, theoretically, we're using the root note as our like pivot point, and then we're using the flat 7 up here. Then we're coming down here to the major 6, so that's from the major pentatonic. Then we're back down to the 5th and the root, so that's obviously very, very neat. And then here, we're on the 4th degree, so that fits in the minor pentatonic. Okay, so we're kind of using minor pentatonic, major pentatonic, both, minor pentatonic. So it's that constant back and forth that you need to try and visualize. Remember, on the YJ Club, you can see this visual very, very clearly. It will really help you kind of go through this, okay? Oh, sorry, not that one. So that's the very first part of the lick. Then we're going to do this cool thing. I'll do it again. Okay. So this is, again, classic on and off, bouncing around this kind of A chord, this dominant 7th chord here, okay? And all I'm doing is I'm holding now my first finger down against the G and the B string on the 5th fret, and I'm going, hammering onto the 6th fret. So that is really going from my minor 3rd to my major 3rd. So again, from the minor pentatonic to the major pentatonic. Okay. Then hitting the root note of the A, so basically creating an A chord. Then I'm going to flatten this 3rd finger to get the double 7 on the G and the B string. And then do the same thing again. So we get. Now you can do that over and over again if you like. Gives you a really kind of nice, kind of round the rosary bush thing, whatever that is. But it's nice, right? Okay. And then I just come back to the flat 7 to finish that one off. Okay. And I'll talk about that in a second. So far, the lick, which combines both major and minor pentatonic, is this. And a bit slower. 1. Okay. And then to finish up the lick, this flat 7 is important because that brings us into the sound of the minor pentatonic. So the very last part is really simply just working through the minor pentatonic, box 1. Okay, so with a classic going up the box shape. And I'm really giving this kind of quarter bend a lot of attention. Notice how as I do the quarter bend, I can do it up or down, whatever you prefer. Let's do it up in this instance. I'm going to do up, stop it dead, and then again, stop it dead, and then hit the root note. So I get. Okay, so real care has to be taken over that quarter bend, guys. I don't want you to pass on or move away from this lick until you're starting to feel the feeling of playing a quarter bend well. I don't want it to be kind of like this, or this, with no quarter bend, or, you know, some kind of bend that's neither here nor there. I want that quarter bend. I want to encourage you to learn every single one of these 5 licks better than you've learned any other lick in your entire life. I want you to spend time on it. I want attention to detail, because once you've got this one, you're going to use it for the next however many years you're going to be playing guitar. Hopefully for your entire life, you're going to be using this lick if you learn it correctly now. Okay, so just trust me on that. So let me just put the drum beat back on, and I'm going to play this lick with the drum beat at 60 BPM, so it's nice and slow. So let's start that. Okay. Excuse the coughing, guys. Bit of a cough. Okay, so a 1. And again, for 1. Okay, and again. Okay, and let's just stop there for a second. Now, what's really important, that's slow. The original speed is 90 BPM, so it's a fair bit faster. But it's still a challenging lick, even at 60 BPM, okay? To get it right, anyway, to get it played with a bit of class, okay? Getting all the kind of double notes in there. Getting this really kind of grooving. And then, of course, to really feel those quarter bends. That's a challenging lick. Now, the only thing I haven't talked about is the idea that it comes in off the first beat. So it's like 1 and 2, like that. 1 and 2. Okay, so if I hear the beat again, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, like that. So count it in, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2. If you put it on the 1, it will sound different. It will still be the same lick, but it will sound different. If you ever listen, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't even do it. Because I want to pull it into where that I'm used to that sound. So it's a great idea as you, oops, over that, let's just stop that. It's a great idea as you learn licks to learn what beat they're on, because that's going to help you create a body of ideas on different beats, okay? And you'll see that all the way through this, all the licks are in slightly different places, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to get that backing track on. So I provided you guys with 3 backing tracks in each one of these lessons. We've got the backing track in A, then we've got the backing track in, I think it's C and D as well. Yeah, C and D. The idea being that each one of these backing tracks is not only in a different key, but it's also a different style. So how can we play this lick over all those backing tracks? So let's just get the first one on, which is the core 1 in A, which sounds like this. Okay. This is the backing track. So big chunky sound. I've got my bad monkey on now. So, let's try it. And again. Okay. Good. So as you can see, with the bad monkey enabled, which is so good, so good, that it sounds great. Pretty much everywhere where I place that over the 12 bar, it sounds great. It's aggressive because you've got this kind of, that's an aggressive sound. So this is what you can be thinking, the kind of vibe of this lick. It's very aggressive, and it ends on that really minor, which is a feel, okay? The whole thing, that rhythm that comes through this lick is so important, okay? So I want you to feel that. In the way I play it, you can see my right hand almost looks like a strumming hand. You know, to really get that kind of rhythmical vibe coming through, okay? This is, when I'm talking about really learning licks, this is the kind of process that I go through. So next up, we've got a different backing track. We've got a backing track in the key of C, okay? So I'm just gonna get this one up here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so this wonderful thing is in the key of C blues. Okay, so whilst that's rocking, I'm gonna help you out here. So to find this lick in any key, we need to find, first of all, that 7th chord in the E shape. So I'm just gonna simply move that up to C. Okay. Okay. Now this brings me to the right key. So as it comes back into the, on the 1 chord, you can hear that that C7 is there. With that chord in place, I know that I've got my minor pentatonic box 1, and my major box 2. So playing this lick, all I've got to do is find this particular chord, and I should be away if you've visualized it correctly. Let's give it a go. Or so as you can see, when playing it over C blues, the most important thing is I can put myself in the right key and I can find the lick. Now, this is a slow blues, so this is a completely different time signature. And the cool thing about a slow blues, anytime you come across a slow blues, is you've got way more scope for variation of the lick in terms of its timing. So you can hear, you know, if I come back to that, it's quite loose. You know. It's really not, it's not quite the same level of bounciness or quite precise to the rhythm that it was originally, because this is the slow blues, okay? There's way more space. And this is for you to explore, and I want you to try and explore it the way I have done there, okay? There's deliberately no tab for that. It's exactly the same lick. You've just got to try and make it work for you over that jam track, okay? Let's do one more. So the other jam track that I provide you in each lesson is the D blues one, okay? So let's have a quick listen to that. It's got this kind of like, yeah. It's nice, eh? So again, another completely different feel. One more listen. So, completely different feel, completely different speed, everything is different now, okay? So let's just put ourselves in the right place first. So it's D blues. So with this particular lick, we need to find this chord shape on D. So that comes up to my 10th fret. And now I'm gonna do my minor pentatonic, okay? Box 1, and my major pentatonic box 2. Let's just double check it by playing that over the track. Minor, major. Okay, so let's explore this lick. The bad monkey's going on. I've never done it before. I'm doing it live on camera for you guys. And again. And then you can start to put that around your other soloing. So let's go for some minor pentatonic stuff. So there we have it. The exploration is complete for lesson 1, or at least my exploration is complete. Your exploration just begins. The idea here is you learn one lick. We are able to comfortably put it in any key we like. So we've tried C and D. You're very welcome to try any other key you like. Stick to the blues because, of course, this is blues crossover. Okay, so this minor major thing won't work just over a minor key or a major key. It needs to be a kind of bluesy thing, so dominant chords ideally, typically. There are exceptions to that, but let's just focus on that for now. And then you need to explore this idea. You can kind of play around with the lick to see if you can fit it over all these different styles of backing track. That's the fun. This is a really fun little challenge for you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. That's the first one. I would genuinely play around with this until you feel comfortable with it. That might take 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Whatever it takes, just work with this lick. You know that when you come back to this, you've got another wonderful lick waiting for you that I'm going to walk through you, so do not rush this process. I'll see you next time. Massive thank you from me and the rest of our wonderful tutors for watching this video. If you do want to check out another video, another playlist, you can click right over here. Otherwise, if it feels like the right time for you and you're ready to give it a go, our Guitar Club link is right up here. You can get a 14-day free trial and you'll get access to our complete courses, our amazing community, and everything you need to properly upgrade and start loving the process of learning the guitar. I'll see you later.